Have you ever played a computer game? When I was around 12 or 13 years old, I was obsessed with this computer game called Rings of Zilfin. Now, here's the basic premise of this game. This was one of those really old MS-DOS games, right? Back when computers were not as sophisticated as they are today. But you had this character called Reese, R-E-I-S, and Reese had to travel this land to defeat the evil Lord Dragos. Lord Dragos had cast a spell over this entire land, and Reese had to battle goblins and flying lizards and dragons and all sorts of different things to get to Lord Dragos so he could destroy this evil wizard's reign over the land. And to do this, Reese had to constantly up-level. He had to up-level his charisma, his stamina, his ability to take out a target with a bow and arrow, his endurance, his healing factor. And you had all of these different things. And as you collected coins to solve riddles to up-level, Reese got more and more and more powerful. Now, look at the screenshot of the game. You can see this was before computers even had color. And so as you can imagine, the game was ridiculously slow and boring AF. And it took 30 hours to kill Lord Dragos, and I got tired. As a 12-year-old, there were so many other things that I needed to get doing in my life. I had to go to my garden, collect bugs, climb trees. I was a busy 12-year-old. 30 hours in a computer game to kill that Lord Dragos character, not my type of thing. So, this determined 12-year-old decided to hack the game. I figured out coding. I figured out how to dive into the back-end data of the game, which was down on a floppy disk, and I simply up-leveled my character Reese. I gave Reese stunning charisma, incredible speed, incredible accuracy with a bow and arrow. He could have joined the Avengers. I gave him full endurance, full stamina, and then I marched right up to Lord Dragos, stabbed that guy in the heart, and saved the land. Now, the funny thing is, I hacked the computer game because I wanted to win, and I wanted to win fast with the minimum impact on my time. The 6-phase meditation is related to this story because it's about winning at life with the minimum impact on your time. You see, just like this computer game, in life there are certain characteristics we need to constantly up-level with. 6 characteristics to be specific. These are the 6 characteristics that in my research as the founder of Mind Valley, I noticed that if human beings can embrace their life flows majestically. The first characteristic is the most delicious one, love. It is the feeling of being loved and the ability to give love. The second characteristic is happiness and gratitude and appreciation for where you are. The third is a feeling of peace and security, being safe in this crazy world. The fourth characteristic is having a vision for your long-term future. The fifth characteristic is having control over your day to day. The sixth is a feeling of being supported, especially from a higher power or benevolent universe. So, if life is a computer game, we want to be at our max in all of these 6 characteristics. But it isn't really like that, is it? As you go through your day, as we go through life, we get hammered, we get hit, we wake up late, miss an important meeting, we get berated by an angry boss, we get into a fight with our spouse. Something or the other happens and we fall in some of these areas. What if there was a way to hack the game of life, to dive straight into the matrix of this game and up-level all of these 6 characteristics? This is where the 6th phase came from. The 6th phase is a set of 6 transcendent practices to take these 6 characteristics and jack them all the way up to level 100, the max level. So you can go straight to Lord Dragos and punch that guy in the face. Or go and conquer your career or get your business to the next level or win the US Open or perform on stage in front of thousands of people. This is what the 6th phase is about, and I can't wait to get you on this journey. Now here's how we're going to take these 6 human needs and up-level each of them within the context of the 6th phase meditation. The first human need is a feeling of being loved and loving others. We're going to do that by making phase 1 about elevating your sense of compassion for yourself and compassion to others. We then go on to the next human need, feeling of happiness and gratitude. We're going to do this by bringing in advanced gratitude practices in phase 2. The third human need is a feeling of peace and safety in a chaotic world. We're going to do this by integrating scientific practices of forgiveness into phase 3. Forgiveness is a remarkable practice to create a feeling of peace and serenity. We then go to phase 4, a vision for the future. Here in the 6th phase, we're going to integrate a modality called future dreaming. And you're going to see a vision of your future 3 years out. Then there's phase 5, which is self-determination, a sense of control over your day. We're going to integrate this in the 6th phase using a technique called the perfect day. Finally, there's the feeling of being supported. We're going to integrate this into phase 6 using a transcendent practice called the blessing. I want you to pay attention to a really interesting nuance of these 6 characteristics. The first 3 and the last 3 relate to different aspects of time. If you look at the first 3 characteristics, feeling of being loved and loving others, gratitude and happiness, and peace, all of this have to do with the present state of beingness. Love, happiness, peace, all present state emotions. But the next 3 characteristics all relate to your future, a vision for the future, self-determination, a sense of control over your day that's about to unfold, and feeling supported in your grand vision and plans all relate to future thinking, to plans, to visions, to goals. Human beings are truly different from animals because we don't just exist in the present. We have the capacity to dream, to envision, to think, to create. I believe that if we are the essence of God experiencing its own creation, this is where that creative drive comes from. We constantly seek to create and make the world better off, to transform where we are today, to become the next level of ourselves, to continuously self-realize. This is where the future and the present come together in the optimized human life. The 6th phase is designed to do both. It's designed to optimize present states, but also really optimize your future visions. This is where the 6th phase is quite different from many other forms of meditation. Many forms of meditation are simply focused on the present, but we are not just present-centered creatures. We need a balance. The most common characteristics in Mind Valley students are, if I look at the most common job titles among our audience, it's entrepreneur, startup founder, CEO, and then life coach. All of these titles are about transformation. CEOs, entrepreneurs, startup founders are creating new value for the world. Life coaches are optimizing human beings. All of them need a foot in the future. This is why the 6th phase is so perfect for our community and for anyone out there who wants to be truly happy in the now, but also build a truly remarkable future. I've traveled the world, close to 70 countries, and had the pleasure of interviewing many of the most remarkable human beings on this planet. And I noticed something about the people who were truly living the most epic lives. They had present and future aligned in their being. I remember meeting Richard Branson, and we had about 3 hours of one-on-one conversations on his mindset, his views of life. Something interesting about Richard Branson, he's perpetually happy in the now. In fact, we asked him, what do you do in those moments when you're sad? And he said, I don't know. I never really remember the bad times in my life. I only focus on the good. And of course, if you know anything about Branson, he's constantly building the future all the way up to Virgin Galactic and sending people to space. He is a beautiful example of the integration of present level happiness and a vision for the future. You need both to be truly functioning as a dynamic human. You need happiness in the now and a vision for the future. And based on this balance, you could be in any 4 of these states. The first state is no happiness, no vision for the future. In this scenario, you are feeling hopeless and feeling sad. This is a dangerous state to be in. I call this state the negative spiral. And it's important that you seek help. A psychologist, a therapist, a coach, a good friend who can help bring you out, because the negative spiral often spirals downwards. You need to bring hope into your life and elevate happiness. The next state is where you have happiness, but you don't have a vision for the future. I call this the current reality trap. Why is it a trap? Well, happiness is fleeting. Look, you can get happy from smoking a joint. Happiness is a biochemical reaction in the human brain, but it's very different from the true feeling of bliss or fulfillment. Fulfillment, bliss, comes when there's a beautiful balance between merely being happy in the now, but having a vision for the future. You do not want to waste your life. You need both. This is why merely having happiness is a trap. Now, the next state is where you don't have happiness, but you have a vision for the future. I call this state stress and anxiety. Because if you're not happy now, it means you're postponing your happiness to some future vision. You're deciding, I'm going to be happy when I close that sale, when I get that apartment, when I get that girl, when I get that promotion. The funny thing is, study after study after study shows that living like that puts you in a horrible, stressful state. And it actually diminishes your odds of success. In the book, The Happiness Advantage by Shawn Achor, this Harvard researcher, Achor, shares study after study after study that shows that happiness is rocket fuel towards your goals. Happiness shouldn't be tied to achieving your goals. It should come as an aid to help you get to your goals. Now, when you do this, when you have happiness and a vision for the future, you're in the state I often call the state of bending reality. And I call it that because reality literally seems to bend. You seem to see synchronicities, serendipities, coincidences. You feel lucky. You get into flow states. People respond to you in better ways. This is the state you want to get to, but it's a state where you're happy in the now and you have a vision for the future. And both are jacked up to like level 10 out of 10. This is what the sixth phase is designed to do. This is why so many of the brilliant case studies and super performers I spoke about in the previous video practice the sixth phase. They literally get to a state in their life where they don't even understand how they are so lucky, how they are so blessed. But this is a state of being that is possible for everyone. There's a beautiful poem written over 100 years ago that goes like this. I was early taught in life to work as well as play. My life has been one long happy holiday, full of work, full of play, and God was good to me every day. Think about the writer of that poem. I was early taught in life to work as well as play. He's talking about vision for the future, happiness and now. Life has been one long happy holiday. He's talking about the results of that. Full of work, full of play, vision for the future, happiness in the present. And God was good to me every day. Feeling blessed, seeing synchronicities, coincidences, inexplicable luck. Well, that man who wrote that poem was John D. Rockefeller, the richest man of the modern era. He founded Standard Oil. He was one of the most successful entrepreneurs ever in American history, still the richest American who ever lived. He wrote that poem in his 80s. What you're about to learn is the secret recipe for living a life of beautiful happiness and incredible contribution and success. So I cannot wait to get you started on the sixth phase. Now, the third video that you're about to go into is optional. If you are an experienced meditator, you can skip this video and dive straight into phase 1, compassion. If you're non-experienced at meditation, watch this video and I'm going to teach you some of the basics of just getting started with meditation, from posture to how to sit to what to do with your hands and all the other beautiful stuff. So even if you do meditate, you might learn something new here.